afternoon, everybody. This is George Weitengruber from Weitengruber Law, bringing back season 2 of the Community Chat series. Sorry, we've been absent for a few weeks, but we wanted to retool and rock this out. I'm super excited to bring to you today Tamer Gouda, who is the president of the Monmouth Regional Chamber of Commerce. He is also a member for New York Life Insurance. And today he's going to talk to us a little bit about both of those activities. Tamer, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, George. Looking forward to our discussion.
I'm really happy to have you. I am a member of the chamber, and it's been a valuable part of my practice over the years, especially the relationship that you've been able to have with my paralegal, Ivy, who loves everything that goes through the chamber. And one of the things we'll obviously talk a little bit about today will be the Athena Awards. But let's start and roll back to the beginning with this. As a Chamber of Commerce, what is your role and your goal as the chamber?
Our goal as a chamber is to be able to bring people together to network and grow their professional relationships, to help grow their business and help them be successful in what they do. And one of the great things about this chamber, and it's one of the things that I hold near and dear to my heart, I've been a part of the chamber since 2009, where I started on the Young Professionals Committee, and I just kept working my way where I finally got asked to be on the board of directors, and now I'm the president. But I've done great things with the chamber. They've helped me from my previous career to this one. They've been a great help. But not only have they helped me grow professionally, they helped me grow personally. I've made some of my best friends in the entire world through this chamber. And it's a great place to meet new people, grow your professional network, grow your personal network, and make lifelong friends.
How many members do we have in the chamber right now?
I believe we're right now at around 350, 360 and growing.
You know, and you brought up a good point a moment ago, and that's that you started with the young professionals group of the chamber. I'm a new fledgling business, just figuring out what to do. And the first thing I realized is I don't know a damn thing except maybe how to sell this product or do this one thing. How does being a member of the chamber as a young professional help you grow and develop your business?
Well, from my experience and watching some of my friends who started in the young professionals, all of us grew together, and watching how we progressed in our professions. For me, I grew my network that helped me at my previous career in the nonprofit world, where I was able to make a difference in the community, to working with members, whether it was donating money or donating goods. And it helped me grow and make a more of an impact in the community. And watching some of my really close friends, watching them go, they went from, being a low-level employee to now being the number 2 in their company. Or another one went from being a CPA to now being a controller for a huge company. So the chamber lets you grow professionally because of all the education that we provide in different webinars, but just growing that professional network of yours. And a lot of our young professionals have gone from the young professionals group to not only growing in their careers, but also ending up on the board of directors of the chamber. So it's a place for professional growth and trading ideas. So here you are, you're a young professional, you're new in your career, just getting your feet wet. It's a great place to interact with other professionals, not just in the young professionals group, but when you come to the different events that we do, like the Percolator Breakfast or the Business After Hours when we are in person, you could bounce ideas off of more successful professionals who have been in their careers 20 or 30 years. So it's a great place to bring people together and engage.
You know, that's one of those things that I really love about the chamber is that you get different cross sections of people. Obviously, we have people that are just coming to network and throw their cards at as many people as possible and collect cards. But you also have people that have been in it forever, and they come to that to share some camaraderie, share some knowledge. And I find so many members are just really generous with their time and their experience, that's that intangible thing that comes out of the chambers that people on the surface might not appreciate. Not just about some apps, a couple of drinks, and throwing business cards around. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So, like you just said, it's not just about showing up, throwing your business card, having a drink or two, eating the food that's there. It's really a place to trade ideas. And that's one of the things that when I became president, I really wanted to do is grow it in that way. One of the things that we haven't been able to implement yet, but I really want to, is when it comes to the young professional group, I want to start a mentoring program where young professionals can interact with people that have been successful in their business, bounce off ideas and learn from them. Like if we had a young lawyer come into the chamber, I would absolutely want them to sit with you and learn from you as somebody who's been very successful in what they do. It's a great place for that. Another thing that we are starting to do, and we think it's one of the biggest things that we're going to do, is we're starting a small business advisory council where members who are experts in what they do are going to be offering free consultation advice for businesses. Small businesses are struggling right now. The coronavirus and this pandemic has really hurt some of our small businesses. And it hurt us as a chamber. Back in April, as we went from in-person one week to virtual the next, we had to furlough the staff. And the reason the chamber is still active and still out there helping members grow their businesses is because of the volunteer core of the chamber. The board of directors truly stepped up to keep this chamber moving forward. And the more people that we have involved as volunteers, the more people that get involved on the different committees, the more we can grow this chamber. And it's a benefit to everybody. If a new member comes in a certain business sector, that's a sector that company A likes to work with, you now have a synergy between these two. And that's what chambers are for, so that you can connect people and grow. But the most important part of a chamber is you can't just pay your membership and never show up and just have your name in the member directory. If you don't show up to the different virtual events that we're doing, or when we're back in person to these things, you're never going to get anything out of this chamber. You put into the chamber, you'll get out of the chamber. Why are the members that you see week in and week out successful in what they do? Because they give their heart and they give their soul to this chamber, and they are active and they engage with the other members. So if you don't put anything into the chamber, you're not going to get anything out of it. So only thing I can say is get involved, meet the different people, call up the members, have a one-to-one. It's a very friendly chamber. And one of the things that I'm most proud of over the last 7 months is we've had new people come to the different events that we do. And soon after, because I put my information out there, because we've had furloughed the staff, I said, anyone that has anything, contact me, call me whenever you want, email me whenever you want. And I was getting emails from visitors and members saying, we've been to a lot of virtual networking, and the Monmouth Regional Chamber of Commerce is the best one we've been to. And that made me feel good as of somebody who's been a part of this chamber for so long, to show that we are actually providing value for our members as well as future members.
There's a lot to unpack with what you just said, and I promise you, in this choose your own adventure, there's a good chance I'm going to miss something. But how about, before we jump into COVID and the adjustments, why don't we spend a moment and talk about the idea of the membership and really stealing the BNI concept of givers gain. I'm one of those people that, thank goodness, I have an Ivy Jaycott, because I'm the man behind the curtain. She advocates for my business at every chamber event, even when I can't make it there. So when people finally meet me, they're like, "Oh, you do exist." But that's exactly the point of going into these and putting in and investing your time is so essential, because that's where you learn. And what going to that education piece, talking about a small business advisory committee, when I started my practice 11 years ago, the amount of what I knew was that I was a lawyer and I was okay at going to court. I knew instinctively how to network, but I didn't know bookkeeping. I didn't know where to pick up my supplies. I didn't know my phone system, my computer system, my retirement, my life insurance, how to pay the utility bills, the water company that comes in. There are a million things as a business owner that you don't know. And those things can intimidate the hell out of you, so you'll never take the opportunity. How can the chamber, with the collective knowledge of thousands of years of business people, help that newbie that's just getting started?
You just hit the nail right on the head on why we're doing this small business advisory council. Because when you start a business, and even people that have been in business a long time, sometimes they're struggling right now. A lot of them are struggling and they've lost their way and they want to get back on track. And you probably need that expert advice of somebody that spends their career doing this. So using your example about payroll and life insurance and benefits, say you started a business and you spend so much time focusing on growing your business that you lose track of the things that you need to be doing to make sure that your business is on track and successful. This small business advisory council is going to have somebody who's able to give you payroll advice on how to set up your payroll, merchant services, whether you need that. There's going to be people who are experts in making sales and will show you some different techniques to grow your sales. Somebody comes to me, I'll help you with how to enhance your employee benefits through life insurance and other different ways to help you attract employees, retain your employees, and just give back to your employee base. So there's going to be people from all the different sectors that we do, whether it's health and wellness, financial services, real estate, sales. They're all going to be a part of this one sector so that if I need help with this, this is someone from the chamber who's willing to give their time and expert advice to you at no cost. Whether you choose to use them for your business, that's up to you, but their advice will be there for you to help you get to the right place that you need to be as a business owner.
That's just amazing. It's such an awesome idea, and I'm excited for you. I think it's going to be really well received. The other part to that, obviously now we can pivot to the last 6 months and the chaos of that. A lot of what the chamber does, and people, except for those from the chambers that are listening to this, may not understand. Chamber is a nonprofit, which means that the money that you're pulling in, it sure isn't our membership dues just to make this work. It's the programming. And all of a sudden we go back to March, and someday I can't wait to stop saying, and then we went back to March. How quickly did you pivot, and where have we seen the impact of that? First, I'm super thankful that you're still here and that the chamber is still in place. I do understand that we've gotten your employee back off of furlough back into being active. So thank goodness we're starting to see a little bit of a weird daylight. But how did March feel, and what over the last 7 months have you learned about yourself and about how the chamber can operate?
So to the first part of your question, how quickly did we pivot? So it was relatively quickly, and one of the things I'm very proud of as this chamber. March was supposed to be a very big month for us. March is when we do our signature Young Professionals event, the Caring with Karaoke for charity. We were going to be helping CASA, and that event was scheduled for the last week in March. And as the news of the virus was getting around and we were learning how truly dangerous and how quickly it spreads and how deadly it could be, we were at a Young Professionals meeting, and it was myself, the team, as well as Therese, the executive director. And I said, listen, we got to keep watching this because we might have to shut this stuff down relatively quickly. And then the Friday perk came. We were all at the All Seasons Diner in Eatontown, as we always do, 40-something people. And we just decided right then and there, this is it. We're not going to come back after this Friday. And we were in the diner one Friday. The next Friday, we were playing with Zoom, and we had 35 people on the call. So we only lost 5 people from the in-person to the virtual. And we just went going from there, because the perk is our signature networking event that happens every Friday at 8 a.m. And we didn't miss a beat. And I'm so proud of this chamber and its leadership. And as the weeks gone on, and as we saw that we were not going to have Caring with Karaoke, we saw that the Beacon of Excellence Awards that we do in the summertime was in danger. We knew that the revenue, because our revenue comes from 2 major streams. It's the membership as well as sponsorships for the events. We knew our events were going to take a hit. And looking at our numbers, our most important thing was to keep our lights on and the doors open for our members. So we knew we had to come to the very difficult decision of furloughing the staff. And that happened in the beginning of April. And to the staff's credit, this had been brought up by the board. And I was reluctant to do that because I wanted the chamber to keep moving forward. I wanted to provide value for our members. It was very important to us as an organization. But to the credit of the staff, they're the ones that came to us and said, we know the numbers, you have to furlough us. And it's a testament to them that they were willing to sacrifice this for the good of the chamber. And ever since that day, it has been the board's goal to bring them back as quickly as they could. We were able to bring back Rochelle, our admin, in July, and I'm very happy to tell you we were able to bring Therese back. I think Monday was her first day back, yes. And it's fantastic because the fourth quarter of the year is so important to the chamber. One, the membership drive is about to begin, but on top of that, you have the Athena Awards that are going to happen on November 6th, and that awards has to happen. There was no way we were going to be able to postpone that because of how important it is. And we're the only entity in New Jersey that holds the license to have this awards. So it was very important. So to bring the staff back, and throughout the summer, when we were without the staff, like I said, the board picked up the slack. And you asked, what did I learn? I learned that I can juggle many different things. Not only am I a business owner of myself, running a service through New York Life, but I also had to juggle the chamber. And it was very difficult, but for me, it was very rewarding because I love this chamber. I wouldn't have been here since 2009 if I really didn't believe in what we're doing here. So we always kept saying, one of the things that we did, the board used to meet monthly. We started meeting weekly because of how fluid everything had to be. And that's the commitment of this board and the volunteers, that we met on a weekly basis. Now we're back to 2 times a month because things are a little bit more stable. We think we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully a vaccine comes into play or a true treatment plan comes into play so that we could get back to in-person, shaking hands, hugging, as opposed to the virtual stuff that we're doing. But one of the things that I think is the virtual thing is here to stay. We're still going to do a portion of that because it works for people. People like it. And as we were evolving, we started doing free webinars for the community, not just the members, because we wanted to show value to the community. And we had different speakers coming in, and all that stuff is available on the Chamber YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook pages, the member network and the Chamber page. And it's vital information that could help anybody. Our first one was on social media, and we had 3 of our Chamber experts come in and give advice on how to grow your social media presence, because now you're not in person networking and growing your business. You have to do it in the virtual space. Then social media is such a huge part. Then we had health and wellness because, here you are in quarantine. A lot of people are afraid to go out. You're losing your sanity a little bit. I don't want to say, but you're like, for a lot of us, you're sitting in front of a computer screen for 10, 12 hours a day. You forget that you need to go outside for a little bit, see that sun, get your body moving. And we were able to do all that. We were able to give advice on financial services and insurance and why it's so important. So we were being able to provide that value to the membership, as well as a little fun. We've had trivia nights, we've had speed networking virtually, and that speed networking event, people raved about it. They thought it was fantastic because here we are in the virtual space, and even in person, sometimes people can be cliquey. So that speed networking forced people to talk to one another that might never talk to each other in the real space at the diner or the different things. So I think we've evolved and we've done some great things, and we're only going to continue to do that.
What do you think the importance and impact of doing the weekly check-in meant to the membership? I know what I think, but I'm sure you've gotten feedback from your members.
It had a sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
In a world that's going through unprecedented times where the unknown keeps becoming known and you don't know what's happening next, that weekly perk at 8 o'clock gave people something to look forward to, something that was familiar, something they enjoyed. And I'm so glad we were able to keep it. And the same people, as well as new people, would keep coming every week. We all know, like a couple of weeks ago, one of the guys, his Zoom went out and we couldn't hear him speak. I did his 30-second commercial for him.
Right.
Because we are so familiar with one another now that it's not really about the camaraderie. It's about the camaraderie and that growing of trust and just being able to see people that you used to see weekly. Even if it is for an hour on a computer screen, you're still seeing your friends from the chamber. And it's so important to keep you sane and keep you smiling because it's a lot of fun.
We we don't obviously like to talk a lot about this, but the balance of the system that we're dealing with, the our personal safety and health and that of the community versus our business and the economic health. Uh, a lot of people have the opinion that restrictions have been too tight in certain areas and inconsistent. How many members of the chamber's businesses have suffered? How many people do you think might not even make it back? And how have you been able to at least communicate and try to help those people over the last 7 months?
So in the beginning, we reached out to all the members, trying to find out who was still in business, who was furloughed, who was not working, and who was. And we would put that out on a weekly basis through constant contact to, I told you we have 350, 360 members, but our email list is somewhere around 2,500. So we were putting it out there weekly basis, who was still working, who was still available to talk to, who was still available to help. And come June, we had stopped doing that because we kind of figured we knew where we were and where we were heading. So to tell you how many people are suffering, I can tell you that's something that we're looking into right now. The board is committed to making calls to all the members to find out where they are, because we made it clear we need to hear from you as a membership. We were putting out member surveys. We wanted to know what you're struggling with, how we can help. And those that spoke up, we addressed. But if you didn't, as I mentioned earlier, put into the chamber by even just sending us an email, letting us know what concerned you and what troubled you and what you needed help with, how are we going to know?
Right.
So we did everything that we could to find that out. And it comes back to, if you put into it, if you reach out to us and you give us the information, we'll do what we can to help you, because we're here for all of you. This is a member-driven organization and we're here for the members. So if we don't hear from that member, there's really not much we can do. But to tell you who's struggling right now, we honestly don't know. And we're trying to figure that out because we want to be able to address it. We want all our members to succeed in their businesses. We don't want to see anyone close their doors, but the world has changed and some people have evolved and adapted and been able to really strengthen their business through all this, and others have not. And we want to help them as much as we can.
And that's such a really cool, important thing. I feel it's always tricky when we're at, let's go to the superficial. If you're at a networking event, you present yourself in a certain way and there's a certain expectation. And this virus has laid us bare to vulnerability. But the same thing, we can hide behind a computer screen for an hour. We can present ourselves however we need to. This is a moment where collectively we have to be able to come together and acknowledge that vulnerability. We've said it many times on this, but I'll say it again. It's okay to admit that you're not okay. We all feel that. We all feel overwhelmed by it on occasion. The question becomes, how do you rally your members to help get through this together?
100%. And honestly, before this, I actually had a meeting with Therese and Ann and Tom, who are helping us create the Small Business Advisory Council. And that's one of the things we discussed is we know that sometimes it's difficult to admit that you're struggling. It's difficult to admit that something's not working for you, but reach out to us. Let us know. Everything's going to be confidential. All of us are professionals. We're all business people. We all understand client confidentiality. Come to us. Let us know what you're struggling with. Let us help you address it. If you're struggling with payroll, maybe we can link you with one of our banking friends who can help you get past that. Say you're into a little bit of legal trouble, we can help you link with all the different legal entities in the chamber. Come to us, let us know what you're struggling with. We know where to send you for help, and there are people who are willing to help you. But you've got to come out of your shell. You got to admit that you need help, because that's the first step, admitting that you need help. So come to us, let us know what you're struggling with. Let us help you. This is a member organization. Members want to help other members. We want to see you succeed. So please, if you're watching this and you're struggling, as a lot of us are, let us know. We promise we'll keep it confidential, and we will do everything in our power to help you.
So we have people out there that are listening to this, and again, the concept, we're trying to clear up that concept of what a chamber is and what it can do for you. What's it cost? What's my money equation?
Well, it all depends on the size of your entity. It starts at $275 for, I believe, 1 to 10, and it goes up from there. Nonprofits are $150. I can tell you that we have decided for 2021 to have a COVID relief package to our members and show you that we do care and we do understand that you're struggling, and there will be a discount to the membership that will be announced very shortly, but I can promise you it's coming.
I think that's awesome. And it goes back and harkens to the idea of community. So now superficially, I'll ask the next thing. Boy, oh boy, that's a lot of money. What do I get?
You get access to the Small Business Advisory Council, that you're going to get expert advice at no cost for you to help you grow your business. You get access to the virtual events that right now are currently free. We used to charge for them, but we made a decision to keep them free for now, because eventually we do have to start bringing in some type of revenue so that we can keep the chamber doors open. But for right now, we understand you're struggling. So you have access to all the events that we're doing. It'll cost you an hour, 2 hours a week to come and advertise your business at no cost. So we're looking at the 275, the 1 to 10. So you're spending $275. That's less than $75 a quarter to give you an hour a week of access to 30, 40 people to talk about your business who might resonate with, you know what, my friend needs this type of help. Why don't I tell them about this person in the chamber? Because here at the chamber, we want to help each other grow. So you're getting that. And for the longest time, we were running a $50 email special. If you wanted to blast the membership, it was only costing you $50 to get in front of 2,500 people. And not a lot of people took advantage of that. Eventually that's coming to an end, but that's something that was available to the members. And our free webinars where you're learning about social media, you're learning about the value of insurance, you were learning about health and wellness. A couple of weeks ago, we had the great Connie Whitman come in and talk about business and growing your business, and all of that stuff was free to the entire community, let alone just the membership. But that's the service we were providing for people and will continue to provide. It's just a place for you to come and network and meet new people so that you can grow.
And again, the collective genius of 300 other business professionals in the area and their knowledge. Paying something in order to get access to people is the easiest thing you can do to grow your business. I've done it time and time again, and this is a pittance. This is a cheap donation in order to help grow yourself professionally and personally. So there's my sales pitch about join the chamber, and promise it will help you immensely. So let's pivot a little bit because we had events that have dropped, but I'm thrilled to know that on November 6th, the Athena Awards are going to be going forward. For those that don't know anything about the Athena Awards, first I'll toot my family horn a little bit. My sister was a winner for the Young Athena Award a few years back, which I found wonderful. Why don't you tell people what the Athena Awards is?
Sure. It's a great thing that we do for the state of New Jersey. And the Athena Awards is an international awards program that recognize individuals for their business and professional accomplishments, as well as community service and mentoring as a role model to help encourage other women achieve their leadership potential. And it's something that we've been doing for a long time. And one of the things that I like about it, as you know, I'm very partial to the young professional. I mean, that's where I got my start. So I'm very happy that we do a Young Professional Athena Award. And it's these contributions that these fine women have made to the community, to their profession. And it's a great way to acknowledge everything that they've done. And this award could not be done without your wonderful Ivy, who has been a tremendous volunteer for this chamber. Ivy, I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done, especially over the last couple of months where you had to revamp this awards from in-person to the hybrid, virtual, in-person, and dealing with something that we've never had to deal with. But it's a great part of our chamber, and I'm so looking forward to it on November 6th.
So can you tell me, name a few of the past winners and what their involvement is?
You're gonna put me on the spot like that?
Just a couple. Just a couple.
Honestly, I wish I could. I'm blanking right now. I've been to the awards, I've met the winners, but right now, off the top of my head, I can't do it for you.
The young people in drug addiction and providing support services, and I wish I could remember the name of the company. Ivy's going to chip in the chat window and give us some information on those as we're talking. They were a finalist, Ivy. They weren't the winner, but Eat Clean Bro, Mary Pat Angelini, Linda Keenan. I'm getting names from Ivy of past winners. So
all people that I know, I can't believe that I've forgotten.
So Linda Keenan was on our show, actually. Our show, Jesus, I called it a show. It must be a thing. Linda Keenan was on our show. She's the director for Preferred Behavioral, so mental health and awareness and keeping people involved. Other past winners were Dr. Denise Johnson and Teresa Polardi. Sister was Melissa Scrocky. It is all about empowerment of women, helping women rise up and bring other women along on that journey and developing business and community relationships, which is why I find the Athena Awards so rewarding and so amazing. Again, it is on November 6th, and I guarantee we'll put some information in the chat window about it. But how can people get involved? First, actually, before we get to that, what's it going to look like this year since it is going virtual?
So it's going to be pre-recorded, and the portion of it is going to be live, because you really can't have the winners pre-recorded. That portion is going to be live with the nominees and the winner, so you get the reactions when that winner is announced. And we're also, for the first time, teaming up with two nonprofits to help raise awareness and raise money. And it's the Prevention for Teen Suicide and Behavioral Health Care. And they're two great nonprofits. Wonderful people work for those organizations, and we're so lucky to be partnering with them, since we are in the virtual space and there is no admission ticket in the past, as we've had. This event is going to be successful due to sponsorships and this silent auction that we're doing to raise money.
Oh, great. So there is a silent auction component, so yeah, people can bid away and still come away with their prizes, which is, the perk of what we're missing when we do this virtually. Is there was no way to do baskets this year. I feel like we've all been deprived of throwing our money into.
You'll get to do it online virtually, and I believe the bidding is going to open up a week before the event. And it's very exciting. And if anyone wants to donate a basket to the event, please reach out to the chamber office, and we'll be happy to come pick it up from you. We're looking forward to this.
And Dawn Doherty is the director for the Society for the Prevention of Teenage Suicide. She was also on this in season 1. So apparently, thank you, Tamer. You see where I've been rating my talent for doing these episodes. She was also a recipient for the Athena Awards in the past, a nominee. I'm sorry, she was a nominee for the Athena Awards in the past. And I also love that part, that so many of these talented women in the community stay involved and help others rise up and develop and grow. It's a very collegial, supportive group of each other. So one of my passion plays, it really is the Athena Awards. I think it's great, and I hope anybody that is interested digs into the information, which I promise I'll put in a link, just so you can have more access to it and come. This show is a month ahead of that, so don't lose out on a great opportunity to see some inspiring people.
And the award could not have gone on without, like I said, the the hard work of Ivy and her team, but also the sponsors. Like Bob Fleischman of BW has been a sponsor of this event for such a long time. Central State, it's companies like that that show support for the chamber through the events that we do that help us continue to make an impact in this community for our businesses. And I can't thank them enough for all that they've done. And if anybody wants to be a sponsor and have your name put up in everything that we're doing, please reach out to the office. It's a great way to, one, help and make a difference into this community, but it's also a great way to advertise your business through the sponsorship. So reach out to us. We would love to have that conversation with you.
How can people contact the chamber? Give me the email and the phone number.
The phone number is 732-462-3030. And you can either email admin@monmouthregionalchamber.com or executive@monmouthregional.com, and they'll go to Rochelle or Therese.
And what's the website?
The website is www.monmouthregionalchamberofcommerce.com.
Awesome. You know, we've been talking about the chamber because that's your passion project, and that's where you really love to dedicate your time. But behind that, I hear you have a career. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your professional life as a life insurance agent?
Sure. So one of the things me professionally, I've been blessed that I was brought up the right way to make a difference and help others. And I spent the first 18 years of my career in the nonprofit world making a difference in the community and helping people that needed the help most. And then the opportunity to really make an impact in the lives of others in a much more intimate way presented itself. And that's what I do at New York Life. I help plan and protect people's futures, whether you're a small business owner who loses their focus on what they're really working for because they're so much spending their time on growing their business that they forget that one day they're going to need an exit strategy. One day they're not going to be wanting to spend 12 hours working and are working towards retirement, and they lose sight of that. And it's a great thing to do, is to help people plan for their retirement through different avenues that we have. But most importantly, it's that foundation of protection. Life insurance is an act of love. It shows the people that you care about that you love them enough to make sure that they are protected for when the unexpected happens and you're no longer here. There's multiple ways to pay for final expenses. One, it could be taken out of your estate. Another way is to have your survivors pay for it, or you could set up a GoFundMe. And the last thing you could do is set up a life insurance plan so that you've shed to your family, I'm not here anymore, but I loved you enough to set you up for a long time. And it's a small investment to protect yourself. It always puzzles me that people don't put this on the forefront. A lot of us have car insurance, you have homeowners insurance, you even protect your cell phone. But how many people don't protect their families if something should happen to them?
I couldn't agree more. And I'm thankful that when I started my company 11 years ago, my BNI had somebody that gave us an amazing 10-minute presentation about how she had life insurance since she was a child. Her parents put a whole life policy on her when she was a kid, and that policy and all the things you can do with it, to borrow against it, to pay for school, to pay for business, to pay for whatever you need, and to still have that blanket of protection. It impacted me enough that that's when I picked up my policy. And now, there's blended policies on me, my wife, and both of my kids, because I got it. And unfortunately, over the years, I've had so many sad stories of people that die young and die untimely that didn't get it and hadn't thought about it, that it left their family devastated in a bad spot. Is the problem that we hate talking about? We're back to vulnerability. We hate talking about death. We hate talking about the next spot. And what if something goes wrong? It's not expensive. Tell people how fucking cheap this is. Oh my God, I cursed. We're back to me.
So one of the things about life insurance is based on two major factors: your health and your age. The younger you are, the healthier you are, the less expensive it is. and you're never going to be any younger or any healthier than you are right now listening to me speak. We just aged another 10 seconds sitting here. So the sooner you have the conversation with the right person who will help educate you and guide you down the right path, the better it is for you and your family's financial future. And there are inexpensive plans. They're expensive. It's whatever you can afford to do. We will work with you to make sure that you have protection in place for your family. And you were saying that before about the stories of here's one that happened to me just a few months ago. And for those that know me, know that I truly care about other people. Like, as I said, I'm a Cancer. I truly feel for other people. And I had been working with an individual who wanted to get life insurance for his mother. His mother was older and he wanted final expenses for his mother. And we had the conversation. He said, get back to me next week. I want to just mull this over. I said, okay. So I called up and the mother answered the phone and I asked for the gentleman. She said, he died last night suddenly. And in our conversation, I uncovered that he didn't have life insurance. So of course, I wanted to protect him as well as his mother because it's so important. So now this poor mother, her son didn't have life insurance. He was doing the right thing. He was making sure that his mother was protected for his family's sake. And then the unexpected happened to him. He was 50 something years old and just unexpectedly passed away. And he didn't put the proper things in place for his family. And of course, he never got the thing done for his own mother. And it broke me. I was so upset for this family. Somebody who I'd never met, because all of this happened in the virtual space. So all I had was a conversation via Zoom with them. This wasn't somebody who is in my network of friends, my network of the chamber, people that I talk to all the time. And it killed me for this person who I'd never met that this had happened. And it always surprises me when people think, you know what, I've got enough, I've got this. I've got 250,000 at work, and I'll just look at them and go, number one, your work policy isn't enough, because what happens if you lose your job? Most likely that insurance is not going to be coming with you. But you know what? You have a mortgage, you have kids, you have a wife. How far do you think that 250,000 is going to go? You really have to have the right conversation with the right person who can help show you what you have, what you need, and how to protect your family, and we can help you do it inexpensively. That hour conversation can change your life.
Do you think that in a weird way, COVID has been a good dialogue opener for this communication now that, especially in New Jersey, New York, so many people have been affected by this? Was this in a weird way a beneficial way to open that conversation where people weren't as afraid to talk about it because they were more afraid of the virus?
Yes, I think that this virus and how it affects different people in different ways. Like, you've had people in their 30s pass away from it. You've had people in their 70s. You don't know how it's going to react with that individual person. So of course, it's made people think, what happens if I do contract this? You know, I'm somebody who works in the medical field, or I'm an essential worker that's out in the public. What if I'm the person that this virus truly affects in the worst possible way, and I didn't have this conversation with somebody to make sure my family's protected? So yes, it's made that conversation come to the forefront, and more people are asking about it and want to have that conversation. And I'm sure a lot of us have known somebody that's been affected by this. Back in June, I lost somebody who was like an aunt to me, and she had underlying conditions. Her husband contracted it, passed it on to her. He, thank God, is still with us, but she is not. And I've known this woman my entire life. How many people know somebody like that? So having this conversation now is so important. We are living in unknown times, unprecedented times. Have the conversation with somebody, have it with the right person, somebody who really cares about you. They won't steer you in the wrong direction. They will make sure that your family's protected, because whether it's the virus, or you could be on your way to the supermarket and you get sideswiped by another vehicle, you never know when your time is up. But one thing that I can promise you, and it's one guarantee that I can make, at some point or another, all of us are going to die. It's just the way it is. None of us are immortal. Something will happen to us, whether it's tomorrow or 50 years from now. Make sure you have the right plan in place to protect your family, and even better, leave a legacy behind. Leave tax-free benefit to your family so that you can never be replaced, but make sure that your family's protected so that they can focus on living their lives and not worrying about, am I going to make the mortgage this month? Or am I going to be able to put food on the table? Or are my kids going to be able to go to college? Put the right plan in place because you never know when your clock's going to run out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tamer Gouda, you can feel his heart come through with that. If you haven't learned anything over the last hour, this is a guy who loves charity, loves giving back, and the knowledge in his brain to help you is immense. So Tamer, how can they find you if they need to talk about life insurance and are willing to make that dialogue open up?
You can reach me at tgouda@ft.newyorklife.com. My phone number is 570-362-2606, or find me on social media. You're not going to find many Tamer Goudas all over social media, and you're definitely not going to find another one in New Jersey. You might find one in Egypt, where my ancestors and parents come from, and where my wife is currently still waiting to come to this country. But if you type in Tamer Gouda, I will be the only one in the state of New Jersey.
We talked so long about the chamber, and sorry, folks, we're pushing right up against that ADD clock in your brain saying, wow, we've been listening to George talk for a while. But I think that's really important. You just gave me the window. Why don't you talk about your wife? You have the happiest relationship in the world, living apart since you got married, but people don't know that story except us.
I wouldn't say it's the happiest. This has been a very, so here we are living in a pandemic with the unknown and scary times, and I'm not with my wife. She's not with me. Things in Cairo were pretty hairy at one point. Things seem to be getting better over there as we're still dealing with now an uptick in the numbers. And to be apart from each other for the last 7 months, for those that don't know, I just got married on December 21st of last year over in Cairo, and some of my best friends in the whole world came over. In fact, one of my best friends that came with me, she sat next to me on the airplane. I met her at the young professionals table of this chamber, and she came to Cairo with me. And Sarah and I have known each other for a very long time. And, a couple of years ago, I was out visiting and something just clicked between the two of us, and we knew there was something there. And after 2 years, we decided to get married. Now the hard part of dealing with government paperwork during a COVID pandemic where, everything is virtual. Her papers are at a stall and we're just waiting to get her over here. But hopefully I can get her to America soon. And, she's giving up everything for me. And I love her to death. She's leaving her family, her friends, her career behind to come to the United States where she's never been. She has never stepped foot in this country, and she's leaving it all behind for me. And I love her very much. And I can't wait to see her again.
It's incredibly hard and complicated in all marriages. And I didn't mean to be facetious, but many married people will tell you the strategy of living in different houses is the key to a long, happy marriage. So in your case, living your first year of wedded bliss together over a computer, how has that been?
It's been difficult, but as I talked about in the business cycle and in the chamber, you have to evolve. And unfortunately, we've been living our life through a computer screen, but we video chat, we are talking as much as we can, and we spend time together, as virtual. We watch movies together. She has access to my movies anywhere account, and we watch movies and TV together as if she were sitting next to me on the couch. The only difference is we're not holding each other's hands and doing it. So we're doing what we can.
I'll say this. I don't know if I've really ever shared this before, but my wife and I met on the internet before it was cool, all the way back in 2001. And we spent the first 5 months of our relationship just talking. We never met. It was phone, it was computer, it was instant messenger. We didn't have the luxury of video chat really at that point. But the foundation that built for us before we were physically in each other's presence was immense. And no matter how ugly and hard of an ordeal this is, it might be an amazing foundational tool that carries you guys for a long time. I hate to put the silver lining spin on it, but I hope that brings you guys some solace.
Yes, thank you.
Uh,
Hopefully it's coming to an end soon and she'll be here and she'll say, I want to go visit my family again.
I'm sure we all look forward to that for you guys, and we're rooting for that to happen sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts? Anything you want us to know and continue on? I thank you for your time, and this has been such an amazing open chat. Your heart is wide open for people, and that love has really resonated over the last hour.
Just thank you so much for allowing me to come talk about two things that I love very much, this chamber and the ability to make an impact on the lives of others. If you ask me what my final thought is, it's have the right conversations with the right people and get involved. If you don't have the right conversation, something bad could happen to you and your family. And if you don't get involved, your business is never going to grow. You got to get out there, whether virtually or in the flesh. You got to get out there. You got to network with people and grow your network and continue learning. One of the things that I hold near is I try to learn something new every day. The minute you stop learning, you stop living. So learn something new every day, and we're here to help you with that.
And take advantage of those 350 members who collectively can teach you something new and cool every day. Folks, I hope to see you all virtually at the Athena Awards on November 6th. It's going to be an amazing time. And if not, between now and then, every Friday morning at 8 a.m. is the Monmouth Regional Chamber Percolator. We will make sure to pop that link in below as well. If you're scared and intimidated to pitch your own business, I promise you it will take you but a few short weeks to hone and craft how to talk about yourself more comfortably and learn how to pitch to a very open, welcome, loving group. This has been another community chat series. I'm thrilled to have you all back in my lives. It's been a crazy month trying to readjust to whatever this new normal is. And Tamer, Gouda, I thank you so much for being my first guest of season 2.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you all next week. Stay safe, stay open to each other. Have a wonderful week.